Welcome. Welcome everybody to this live stream. I'm still waking, so bear with me here. It was one of those mornings, one of those early mornings with the kiddo. I had to practice some self-care and go back to bed for a little while once my reinforcements arrived. So I'm here. We're doing it. Welcome to Wednesday afternoon live. All of you who are watching on the replay, I am going to timestamp. There we go. If we can get the word out. All of the different signs and when I begin reading for them, because we are going to be going through all 12 signs, looking at Saturn in Aries and what this transit is going to bring. So I'm going to take a few minutes to say hello to everybody, and then we're going to talk about the energies of Saturn in Aries, just kind of go over that a little bit and some of the dates here. Because as we know, Saturn will be retrograding. He'll be entering Aries on the 24th, which is just a couple days from now. And then we'll be retrograding back into Pisces later this year before returning to the sign of Aries. And that return will be on February 14th of 2026, Valentine's Day to some. So yeah, that should be an interesting day. But we'll approach that when we come to it. Right now, like I said, we're going to hop into the chat, see how everyone's doing. I am going to be sort of drinking my lunch as well as we're going through here. Hello, Miranda. Hello, Dee. Hello, Annika. Great to see you here as always. Very nice. All right. Let's see. Gonna finish clearing myself here. I think we're going to do some... Do I have my Palo Santo oil? I do not. Let me see. We'll do some Jupiter oil. So I ordered these from Earth Botanica, Black Earth Botanica, many, many years ago when I was taking this class in astrological magic, which was really cool. And so they are these herbal blends, these oils essentially, that are meant to capture the energy of each of the planets. So I have 4 of them. I didn't get the full set. I ordered the 4. There was, I believe I chose to work with the sun. That was the planet that I was going to be working with. So that was for increased vitality as well as just good fortune. And I really think it was the vitality and the health piece that I was working on with the sun as we were co-creating together. So I got that along with, I figured Jupiter and Venus were good ones. Some of the planets, you got to watch when you work with them. You know, for instance, I invoked the energy of Pluto many years ago, and I had some years of powerful transformation following that encounter, but they were not these sweetest, softest, and most gentle years. Would they have happened anyway? Probably, but I'm just saying. You also want to know if you're trying to work with planetary magic, where are the planets at right now in the zodiac? Are they retrograde? Are they in direct motion? There's a lot of ins and outs to this. You really want to catch the planet on a good day or a good run here. Usually this is many months that you're working with the planets. Make sure there's some pleasant aspects going on. Make sure they're essentially in a good mood, just like anybody, right? But yeah, they're really beautiful. I just loved the idea of having these blends for the different planets. And I see Annika is already hard at work. She's putting the link in the chat. We're testing out the link for the SEDONA meet and greet. So if you would like to join that, you can sign up with the link below. You can purchase a day pass. It sounds so weird to say it like that. Where you'll meet up with us daily it's going to be 3 days, possibly 2 days and 1 night, because I'm thinking we want to do some night gazing as well. So at least 3 times that we'll meet up together. We'll go and explore some beautiful natural wonder, some type of vortex in Sedona, and receive some energy activations. I'll lead you guys through some meditations. It'll be really beautiful and just a chance to all get together and experience these transformational energies as a tribe and a collective. There's also an option to stay in an Airbnb with me and have a more intimate personal experience. This is going to involve, we're going to really flow with the energies here, but definitely some some intention setting ceremonies, probably an aura group regression, where, like I said, we're gonna play with it, and we're gonna see how the group is guided and what we're guided to do. But that's gonna be really fun. And if you are interested in that, please email me. My email is on the link as well that Annika's testing out in the chat. And I do believe if you can't find it in the description box now, I'll make sure it's placed in the description box after the live stream. I'm also going to post it in the community tab for people if you want to find that. It essentially links you to my website so that you can email me directly to set up an interview for the B&B, because it is such a personal experience. I want to ensure that it's the safest and most sacred container that it can be for everyone who is joining for that level of the experience. But it's going to be really amazing. It's going to be during the 9/9 portal, which is the 999 this year, as it is a 9-year. This is a year of remembrance. It is a year of rebirth, of endings and beginnings. There's so much powerful energy with this 9 frequency. And we're also in eclipse season in September. So there's going to be a lot of really powerful stuff happening energetically. And I feel that the lands of Sedona are going to be such a magical and mystical place to be for those energies. So I'm there for it. Hopefully some of you will be there for it too. And I look forward to seeing you. If anybody has any questions, also, please feel free to email me, ask away. So yeah, and let us know if somebody clicks on the link, if it works or not. And I want to say hello to Jack. I want to say hello to Brian, or Bayun, it looks like. Welcome. So let's talk a little bit about Saturn in the sign of Aries. And of course, as we all know, we've been talking about this quite excessively, as has every single astrologer who has walked the face of the earth, right? If you've been paying attention to astrology, then you will know, because it's such a big deal, this energy of Neptune moving into Aries for the first time since the 1800s. The fact that Neptune and Saturn are essentially moving together, more or less. Saturn's going to trace through further degrees of Pisces during his retrograde, because both planets are going to go retrograde this year. Saturn's going to make it all the way to 25 degrees of Pisces, I believe it is. Yes, to 25 degrees. Neptune's only going to be in that final degree, I do believe. So still though, they're within a few degrees, even within the retrograde. And then they're going to be moving back together. Right now we have Neptune at 1 degree of Aries. And I do believe this is where I wish I had the chart. I was able to have the charts in front of me, but I just haven't gotten it together enough to have all the technology with all the right apps hooked up. But I do believe it's 1 degree, because I've been looking at the chart for the new moon in Gemini, which we're going to talk about next week. But that is going to be a beautiful breath of fresh air. I'm so looking forward to that new moon. We'll get into that a little bit maybe before we start going through the signs and doing the reading for Saturn and Aries here. But back to this Neptune energy. So we have Neptune at 1 degree of Aries. We've got Saturn moving to 0 degrees of Aries on the 24th. So just in a few days. And then, as we said, they're going to be hanging out together within a degree of each other. They're both going to go retrograde back into Pisces for one final time, and then move back into Aries at the beginning of next year. And they're going to meet at 0 degrees of Aries on the 20th of February. And that 0 degree point is known as the world axis. This is also known as the Aries point, or the birthing point. And this is true for any of the cardinal signs, but it's particularly strong in the sign of Aries, because Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. So this is a brand new chapter, a brand new journey. This is something completely new that we are birthing, that we are creating together as a collective. So it's a really powerful energy. There is an energy of revolution here. There is an energy absolutely of reinvention. When we have Neptune coming together with Saturn, Neptune is always going to be the stronger energy, because it is the slower moving planet. So Neptune being the great dissolver, there is that energy of dissolving. There is that energy of, and when we're looking with Saturn, this is dissolving some type of rigidity. This is dissolving some type of structure or boundary. Now, this is where we get into a lot of the revolutionary energy. People talk about revolutions occurring when we have Saturn, not even with Neptune in the picture, when we have Saturn within the sign of Aries. So we can look forward to more of that energy, leaders being ousted, new leaders being appointed, just a whole lot of drama with that. But when I say drama, I don't mean that in a negative way. This is the good stuff. This is where we see those shifts in power, where the people really stand up and they demand sovereignty. They demand their equal rights. It's going to be bonkers. I'm so excited for it. So this is like when we're looking at Neptune, who hasn't been in the sign of Aries since the 1800s. And then we look at Saturn, who's returning to the sign of Aries, beginning a brand new cycle through really both of these planets, right? Beginning a brand new cycle through all 12 signs of the zodiac, because Aries begins that transit cycle as well for these planets. It's just, the energy is absolutely massive. This is paradigm shifting energy. This is where our values as a collective shift. This is where we are more focused on individuality, on boldness, on courage, on confidence, on authenticity and truth. So it's a really, really beautiful pioneering energy. There is, of course, with this energy, the possibility of sort of those dogmatic leaders, especially with Neptune in Aries. There's a lot of fantasy involved with Neptune. So we want to be careful who we put our faith and our trust in. The bottom line here is that we are learning how to put more faith and trust in ourselves. Saturn is always teaching us. He's always growing us. He is a planet that represents wisdom, that represents lessons. And this is why Saturn is looked at as the great malefic, because he was thought in the past to bring misfortune and hardship. And to some extent, he does. He brings challenges. And when we meet those challenges, we find what we're really made of. So Saturn in the sign of Aries is teaching us along these Aryan themes and energies. He's teaching us about confidence, about courage, about how to take risks, about how to show up, about how to be that self-starter, that initiator, about our sovereignty, about our individuality, our independence, our power. So it's a really intensive energy. He's also teaching us about some of the lower sort of, not, what's the word I'm looking for here? I always end up stumbling for words once I get going with this. He's teaching us about the lower manifestations, I guess we could say, of our masculine energy as well. So this is aggression. We're learning lessons around aggression versus assertion. Right? We're learning letters around recklessness or did I say letters? Lessons around recklessness and impulsivity and a lot of these other energies as well. So there's going to be a lot going into this. There is typically with Saturn an energy of restriction. So as we begin this, I almost said this challenge, right? This transit, we are perhaps going to be experiencing that restrictive energy initially. So this may show up as a lack of confidence. This may show up as challenges or obstacles that seem to present themselves in the house that Aries rules in your chart. So as we go through the 12 signs today, I'm going to be pulling cards, but I'm also going to be telling you a little bit about the house that this is going to be occurring in. Just remember, though, that this is your solar house. So if you listen for your ascendant, you're going to get a more accurate picture of the astrological portion. I think pulling the tarot cards is going to add an interesting element, though, because that is not going to be determined by any type of house placement. That's just going to be spirit channeling us some extra energy. Hello, by Insight. Hello, Michael. Hello, Golden Timeline. Oh, I love that. Golden Timeline says Neptune can be associated with redemption. That's beautiful, especially in the sign of Aries, because we talk about Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, and this sort of hero's journey. So the idea of the redemption piece is very strong. And honestly, this ties right into the Pluto retrograde energy as well. So I am going to get into that very briefly. Hold on. I'm also going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because... There we go. For some reason, I always forget to do that before we get going here. So that redemption theme with Pluto right now retrograde in the first degrees of Aquarius, square the Shapley attractor and conjunct the fixed star Altair. There's a really powerful theme of that redemption as well. And so we're clearing as a collective some of these energies that are associated with the people of Altair as well as Orion and this earth that we live on as well. And these are the themes of service to self versus service to others. So Altair, similarly to Orion, similarly to the earth, essentially as a collective went down the path of service to self, the path of negative polarization. This is the path that the earth has been essentially going down for quite some time, that we are shifting out of as we awaken spiritually and as we move along the path of ascension. And so there are a lot of starseeds on this planet who have had interactions with Altair or who come from Altair. And so as a result of that, there's a lot of guilt within the collective for those who chose the service to self pathway, the negative polarized pathway in other dimensions, in other incarnations. Now, this also happened during the fall of Atlantis, which is a cycle that we are repeating on this planet. This is when we originally shifted to that service to self paradigm, that negatively polarized path, and we made deals with these dark beings or entities, which we refer to on here as the archons. In the sphere of the human world, people refer to them as the cabal today, or the deep state, or whatever you want to call them, though they go much deeper than people realize. So essentially these deals were made there as well. And there's a lot of guilt that's held for that and for all the things that happened there, and a lot of trauma even for people who didn't choose the service to self pathway because of what they experienced there. There's a lot of renegades on this planet right now as well, who are sort of like refugees from Altair as well as Orion, who've come here to help prevent Earth from falling victim completely and being completely absorbed by that paradigm, by that energy, by that service to self energy, the brain brainwashing tactics. This is not something that just goes on this planet. This has gone on in many star systems, many planets within this universe, within this multiverse. So Pluto retrograding over that star is bringing up these collective wounds. It's clearing these collective imprints, and it's assisting us in stepping into our leadership, because ultimately what the star of Altair and the frequency of that star system itself represents, and this is probably one of the reasons that it was targeted as well, is freedom and independence and leadership and true visionary leadership. Altair is known as the flying eagle, right? The eagle, as we know, is a symbol of freedom and independence. So it's all about understanding the ego, understanding the role the ego plays in leadership, understanding the seductive quality of the lower path, and really like all the ins and outs of that. So there's a lot of powerful stuff, especially in square to the Shapley attractor, which represents ultimate power, the balance of dark and light, and this heavy collective influence, and what it is that goes on behind the scenes, right? So squaring the Shapley conjunct Altair, Pluto is ripping it up right now. And between Pluto and Neptune and Saturn in Aries, we are training and initiating the next level of leaders for the new earth, the next phase of light workers. And I want to say an ascended masters. So this is powerful stuff. And I'm going to do a video talking more about that. But I wanted to lay the groundwork for that because what Golden Timeline said kind of inspired to go into that about the energy of redemption. It's very much about that. A lot of us, and because remember, we've all been everywhere. We've done everything. We are everyone, right? So we've chosen the path of darkness. Right? We've chosen the path of service to self, of negative polarization and other versions of us, right? We've been there, seen that, done that. So there's this energy of understanding it all as part of the experience, but choosing that higher path this time around and really learning what that means. And there's going to be some honestly like testing, I think, of our integrity to really determine, but it's not like we're being tested by an outside voice. Or voice, that's an interesting choice of words there, by an outside source or energy or entity, right? It's like this is our own soul getting to choose through the options laid in front of us, through our actions, through where it is that we place our energy. What am I aligning myself with? What is the experience that I want to have right now? And for many who came to this planet at this time, that experience that our soul on a higher path or plane chose to have was the experience of redemption. All right. And we're not doing any zodiac signs yet. I'm just talking about the energies of Saturn and Aries and just the collective energies that we have going on right now. But I am going to start with Aries and just move straight through the zodiac when we get going here. Golden Timeline says the redemptive energy aligns with the Dwapara Yuga we're in right now. So what is that? What do you believe is going on with that? Before we get going here on this, I'm curious to see, because some people believe that we are now that we're beginning the golden age. Some people think that we've moved out of Kali Yuga, the dark age, but we're gradually moving up toward the golden age. So I'm curious to see what you feel about that golden timeline. I think that I think what we're doing is totally unprecedented. So I'm not really sure that it's going to follow any path or formula that we've laid out previously. I feel as though we're kind of like writing a brand new book right now. I do feel as though we're moving toward the golden, out of the dark age into the golden age, but I don't think it's going to take thousands and thousands of years to get from one to the other, which is what ascending into the golden age. If you went by that formula, it would take many, many thousands of years. I think it was something like 200 years just to fully move out of the dark age into the next stage toward the golden age. So I don't think it's going to take all that time. I think we're on the extended, accelerated path here. But I do think that we are definitely shifting out of Kali Yuga at this point. And we've been in the process of that, I think, for quite some time. Yeah, you agree we're extending into the golden age. Hello, Rosemary. Welcome, beautiful. Get some more cosmic rebels in the chat there. Excuse me. All right, let's get into this. We're going to start with Aries. So in your solar chart here, hold on, I really got to dry my face off. That was like a big dribble there. Oh my God. Yep. I'm drinking these protein shakes, are so good. They're all like good, clean ingredients, no crap in them, no sucralose or any of that BS, which is so hard to find. I'm trying to cut sucralose out of my diet. It's almost impossible. It's like trying to cut out seed oil. It's so ridiculous. I'm not going to get distracted on a rant with that, but like, it's because you guys know how I get about the food, the polluted food system and all of that. But yeah, the cookies and cream one is so good. It's so hard to find for some reason where I am. It's so good it makes me dribble. All right. Hello, Tara, by the way. Hello, Maestro. All right. So where are we at? 2215. So I'm going to say 2222 because I'm guessing I like that number for when we're going to start with Aries here. Now, Aries, this Saturn transit and Neptune transit is going to be occurring in your first house in your solar chart. It's going to be different, of course, as we've said, in our natal charts. So this is why it's also going to be helpful for the astrology portion to listen to your ascendant. But in your solar chart, it's going to be happening in your first house. This is really redefining your sense of self, your identity, the way that, not only the way that you see yourself, but the way that you project your energy outward into the world. So people are really going to be noticing this shift that's happening within you. It's going to be palpable. There is a lot of just core, like we said, identity shifts going on. You could really be working through some of those themes of insecurity, some of those themes of not being good enough. That could be coming up very strongly. There's also going to be a theme about the body, being that this is the first house and the first house rules the body. So this may be a time where you have to get much more disciplined around how you're taking care of your physical body, where any health issues might come up. Aries is all about, it's ruled by Mars, right? So it's that energy of stamina. It rules our vitality. So Spirit wants to ensure that you are at optimal vitality as you move through these energies. And this is going to be true to an extent for all of us because Aries energy rules the first house traditionally, right? So Saturn in Aries is going to be more connected to the physical body. So everything that we're hearing for Aries, this is going to be to some extent true for all of us, right? So really working with that, understanding, because how can I be at my most impactful? I need to be physically fit. I need to be physical. And I had to take a nap because I was not at my physical peak. You know what I mean? And that's part of this energy though. Where do I need more rest? Where do I need, what do I need? What is going to serve me? What is going to assist me in being my strongest and best self? All right, let's see what we want to do for a deck for you, Aries. Clear. This is where you will most definitely be learning those lessons that we talked about around aggression versus assertion, around impulsivity and recklessness. There's going to be a real need to pull back on some of that energy, to really temper yourself, to learn how to modulate and regulate your energy and your choices and decisions. And it's Spirit's bringing me back to the energy. So that's going to be a big piece of this. Aries energy likes to go, go, go. And this, and Saturn is saying you need to, it's like we're running a marathon here. This is not a sprint. So modulate your energy. Make sure that you stay focused. Make sure that you are outputting only what you have at any given time, that you're not emptying your reserves, is essentially like what the energy is here. Clear. So anybody who has struggled with, like we said, courage, confidence, with rage and aggression issues, with those fears of even the unknown, those fears of stepping forward, leadership is a big energy as well. So you may find yourself in positions or asked to be in positions of leadership, or people naturally looking to you for leadership during this time. All right, give us something else for Aries. What does Aries need to know about this Saturn transit here? Like, and hello, Eve, by the way. You're going to start to notice that discrepancy between the way that you see yourself and the way that others see you. For some of you, it's like others hold you in this high regard and you've never understood why, because you can't quite see yourself that way. For others of you, it's almost like the opposite. It's like whatever it is, you're going to start sort of noticing that and understanding that and really beginning to get a more, it's like the word humility is coming to mind, or it's like a more balanced view and perspective of yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and sort of like where it is that you stand with people in situations. Anything else around that we want to kind of flesh out around that message? It's just you're gonna begin to see yourself in a more honest light. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be a positive thing, because you've been more judgmental or harsher on yourself than you really needed to be, like more critical, more self-critical. And this is going to be highlighted, especially, I think, once we have Mars moving into Virgo. So your ruling planet moving into Virgo. And that is going to be happening. When is Mars moving into Virgo? At the end of June, I think, right before, I believe right before we enter Cancer season. And hello, Peter. All right, what extra messages do we have for Aries here? Got the Queen of Pentacles coming out. So there's a financial stability and security here. There's also this energy of the Queen of Pentacles is known as kind of like the Earth Mother here. So there's this nurturing aspect that is connected to this. We have the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So it feels like some level of emotional, like that nurturing energy, even though this is the Queen of Pentacles and not the Queen of Cups. I'm feeling that beautiful nurturing vibe. That consummate hostess is something that was sometimes said for the Queen of Pentacles. So some of you guys may be hosting people. You might be hosting events. You might be creating places where people can come together and network and connect and support each other. Or finding those types of supports. We've got the Fool here. So I love that. And the Magician on the bottom of the deck. So you guys, this is, and I don't know that we talked about this when we were talking about the general energies here of Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries, but it is very much this energy that is initiating us into our creative power, teaching us how to be co-creators, how to be masters of our reality. and masters of our energy. So you're really going to be learning this, Aries, and you're really going to have this opportunity for a completely fresh start. I feel like for some of you, there will be some sort of risk or some sort of investment that you're being asked to make. For some of you, this is a financial investment. For some of you, this is an investment in just an investment in yourself, a belief in yourself, and an action that you need to take that's aligned with that belief. Some of you guys are going to be starting over in a new career or a new business. So some of you guys in your natal charts too, you could have Aries as your 10th house. You could have Aries as your 11th house, I'm feeling. 4th for some. If you guys want a video or like a little mini course teaching you how to figure out these points in your chart and put together for people, I obviously offer personal readings as well, or you can get a free chart done. And then you just look for where the Aries energy is within that chart, whatever house that is. That's where you're really going to be feeling this energy the most intensely. All right, we've got the Magician here. Like we said, yeah, something brand new that you are creating. And I feel like I said, it might involve an initial financial investment, but I feel like that investment is going to, it's going to be worth it. Got the 2 of Cups here. So there's love, connection, partnership. I'm hearing soul tribe as well. So drawing in, manifesting, drawing towards you, powerful connections. Some of you guys might actually be starting a business or some type of venture with a soulmate. We've got, we got that. The Hierophant can represent marriage and commitment. We've also got the 3 of Wands and the Devil in reverse. So this is the energy of really overcoming some heaviness. This is like addictive type energies. For some people where relationships are involved, this might have to do with codependence. So, and that's another thing that Aries teaches us, right? It's this energy, the Aries Libra axis. The ultimate goal of it is interdependence, where 2 people are sovereign, 2 people know how to care for themselves, but they also can care for each other and support each other. So instead of one being dependent on the other, there's this positive exchange of energy, if that makes any sense. So I feel that for some, and this is also just overcoming any of these addictive patterns. Saturn gives us the gift of longevity. It also gives us the gift of commitment. Like, yes, it challenges us. It pushes us beyond our comfort zone, beyond the parameters of what we thought was possible for us. And it often does this through challenging circumstances, right? But remember, challenge is an opportunity. Everything is happening for your benefit. You just have to figure out how. So this is going to be a really great opportunity for that. And it's going to be a really great opportunity to have that tenacity and that commitment to really commit to overcoming these devil energies, wherever these are within your life. It's not just going to be codependency for everyone. For some people, this is anything that you're addicted to outside of the self. I'm feeling super galactic center for some people, which is that 2 degrees of Libra point. So some of you may have Libra in your charts or be dealing with a Libra. But it's simply that energy, where it is that you give your power away, where it is that you give your focus away, and really getting clear on that. The Hierophant to me a lot of times represents a spiritual upgrade or a spiritual lesson learned, and then moving and progressing on to the next level. Part of this too, with this 3 of Wands, it's like those of you who've been in a state of waiting, it's like the waiting game is over. Either you're pushed to take action on something, or something actually starts moving forward, which is not always typical for Aries energy or Saturn energy. A lot of times Saturn will pump the brakes. But I feel here something moving forward. Yeah, we got the sun here. But it's because you are taking the star, the Two of Cups again, Tower in reverse, because you are taking the action. All right, Aries. Clear. We will continue to explore these energies. We've got some time to do it. I did not even go over the full Saturn spiel here. I can't believe that. I'm going to have to write this down so I can timestamp this for people as well so that they will be able to see. So just so we're all on the same page with this aspect of things, we have Saturn moving first into the sign of Aries on the 24th of May. On the 13th of July, Saturn will station retrograde. And Saturn will be retrograde in the sign of Aries until September 1st. On September 1st, Saturn will shift back into Pisces. And Saturn will remain retrograde in the sign of Pisces for the final time until the 27th of November, when Saturn will station direct at 25 degrees of Pisces. Saturn will return to Aries on Valentine's Day, February 14th of 2026, and will meet with Neptune for their exact conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries on the world axis, that birthing point, on the 20th of February, 2026. So this is kind of the preview that we're experiencing right now. These are the themes that we're going to be experiencing. So we get kind of like a sneak peek of what issues we're going to be dealing with, what is likely going to be coming up for us. Of course, a lot more is going to transpire because Saturn will be remaining in the sign of Aries until 2028. And I didn't, of course, it's like I have to miss at least one thing that I'm writing down, and my brain just can't contain all of the information that other people's can. So, of course, this is the thing, was when we have Saturn leaving the sign of Aries. And I'm going to tell you all that right now. So it is looking like 2028. I'm going to give you the month here. April 2028. Saturn will shift into Taurus, and it is looking as though the 12th, 13th of April, 2028. So that's when the next shift of energy occurs. So we got some time to work with this. So there's going to be more themes that present themselves. We're getting a replay or like a preview as Saturn makes this first dip into Aries of like where this journey is beginning for us, the lessons that we are beginning to learn, how we are refining this Aries energy within our charts. So that's the rest of the little spiel there for just the general energies of Saturn in Aries. All right, now we can move on to Taurus. Clear. So Taurus, Aries is your 12th house in your solar chart. So this is the energy and the area of the unconscious. With Neptune and Saturn here, there's going to be a lot of karmic energies, perhaps a lot of unconscious themes and energies that you are working with. There's going to be an interesting energy here with Saturn and Neptune in the 12th house, because Neptune rules the 12th house and Neptune rules Pisces, which Saturn is transitioning out of. So in ways I was feeling Taurus natives for their solar chart, and anybody who has Aries energy naturally in their 12th house, as sort of like in a continuation here of some of these Saturn and Pisces themes as well, because Saturn is now moving into the Pisces and Neptunian house. So this is taking responsibility for your energy. This is those karmic completions. This is a lot of that energy of working through these themes of victimization, of powerlessness. So Taurus is going to be getting a deeper initiation through those energies and through that ability. Like, once again, like we said, this is just another way of working through and preparing Taurus energy to be the master of their own energy. And I just realized I forgot to say when this, so we're gonna say 37 minutes is probably when Taurus started, because I forgot to look. But it's gonna be through the initiation into the creator's energy, is going to be through exploring more of these Piscean themes, more of these 12th house themes. There's going to be, like, whenever we have planets transiting the 12th house, similar to the 8th house, a lot of this energy is hidden. So unless we're taking the time to meditate, to really pay attention to our dreams, because this can be a very archetypal kind of energy and the way these themes speak to us, we might be expressing this energy a little bit sideways. Like it's expressing, but we're not conscious of the ways that it's coming out. So we want to be aware of that. We want to make sure that we are taking really good care to choose consciously, to communicate consciously, to not be kind of in that, like, as these insecurities and these things are subconsciously coming to the surface, because one of the ways to look at and understand Saturn as energy is it's kind of like it gives the opposite of whatever it is that it's connecting to, because it is that kind of like restrictive energy. So it's like confidence, it shrinks it down, like anything that typically is one way, it's going to sort of minimize it and constrict it in order to fine tune it. So like those insecurities and different things might be coming to the surface. So people with this Tauruses and other people with this 12th house Aries energy, little man syndrome, right, might be showing itself, and all of those types of things. So we just want to be aware of that. We want to make sure that we are not coming at people sideways, and we want to make sure that we're noticing where this energy is coming from, right? In the 12th house, in the solar chart for Taurus, we've also had Chiron for quite some time. So these wounds, as well as Aries, a lot of these wounded energies are really percolating in the unconscious here. There's also going to be themes and energies as we are dealing with the underdog, we're dealing with the underprivileged, we're dealing with the outskirts of society, also addiction type energies, escapist type energies. So there's a lot of intense energies here that Saturn is asking us to master and find our empowerment around. People also with this placement might be finding that they are feeling drawn to become champions for the underdog, to really stick up for people who are disenfranchised, who are perhaps on the fringes of society. So that's going to be possibly a way that this energy and sort of where this creational energy and this new start is focused as well. So let's see. I'm feeling this deck. I think it's called the Golden Universal deck, but I can't really remember. For Taurus here, clear. Let's clear the Aries deck. All right. Clear. Taurus, Saturn and Aries. What can Taurus expect with this transit? And Spirit wants to remind us as well here that the effect of a Saturn transit has to do with how well we're able to step up to the plate. Are we willing to take responsibility? Are we willing to become the champions of our own energy? If we're willing to develop that discipline, that focus, to rise to the occasion, then there are great rewards that we can receive from a Saturn transit. If we're not, then it is going to seem a lot of like kicking us down and kicking us down. It's just like, when you get kicked down, do you get back up? Every time you get back up, you are stronger than you were the last time you got kicked down. It's like the school of hard knocks with Saturn. You know what I mean? But anybody who has been raised or educated in the school of hard knocks knows that that is one hell of an education. All right, so we got the Ace of Wands here with the Knight of Wands. So there's some passion coming in for my Tauruses with Saturn and Aries. I'm feeling this is like Saturn's really going to light a fire under your ass when it comes to what you want. And this is that kicking you down kind of energy here. This is exactly what I was talking about. There might be setbacks. There might be challenges. And Saturn's going to say, what are you going to do? Are you going to lie down and take that? Are you going to decide that you're not worthy? Are you going to give up? Or are you going to get back up again? And my Tauruses who decide to get back up again, to get back on the horse, as we can see in this card here, you're going to be receiving the rewards for that. And getting before this transit's even through. And Saturn's already been testing us, all right? I know I hate saying testing sometimes, and I know maybe other people don't like it too. Everyone with that, oh, the universe doesn't test, blah, blah, blah. But the planets do. These energies do. They initiate. And this is a fire sign, right? Aries, Saturn in Aries. So this is quite literally initiation by fire. This is a test. Saturn's already been at it. Saturn's already been hovering around that point, right? He's still in Pisces, but he's close to wherever this beginning of Aries is in your chart. You've been feeling the echoes of this. And this first dip until September, when Saturn moves back into Pisces briefly, is that testing ground. I'm going to throw you some curveballs, is what Saturn's saying. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to dig deep within you? Are you going to find the resolve to get back up again? Or are you going to lay down? Because if you're going to lay down, it's going to be a long few years. And like what I'm feeling for my Tauruses is this year and the next 3 years are make it or break it as far as like the entire trajectory of your life. You are making a choice that is going to determine. This is like one of those major, we talk about how every choice we make splinters off into an infinite amount of timelines. The choices you make in the next 3 years are going to, it's not going to be the difference between like, did I wear the brown shirt or did I wear the pink shirt today? It's going to be the difference of like, did I follow my dreams or did I throw it all away? All right, big, big difference, big shift, big energy here. So yeah, 2 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, choices. Got the Page of Pentacles here. What I also want to say is whatever is challenging you right now, whatever is irking you, Taurus, whatever is irritating the living shit out of you, pay attention. Wherever this area is in your chart, this is probably where this is happening right now. I know it is for me. There is a reason for that. My right ear just popped. You are being initiated. Do not mistake this for something other than what it is. Do not mistake this as a denial or rejection from the universe. This is, it's not a rejection. This is like what I'm being shown right now is, you know, like at fraternities and stuff like that, when they have like, what do they call it when people pledge and then they haze you? It's kind of like that in a sense, but not in like a mean-spirited way. It's just like Saturn's way of initiating you into this next phase of your life and seeing if you really have the commitment necessary for what it is that you're stepping into. So it's like a higher vibrational form of hazing. All right. Had the Page of Pentacles there. Tell me more about the Page of Pentacles. This is something small, something that starts out as small, but gains momentum and grows bigger. Yeah. 8 of Wands, 6 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands is in reverse here. So this is where the momentum, the energy's been slowed. But you are still on course to your victory. Think of how a bull moves. The bull moves slow. He grazes. He's not in a hurry until he is. And then when he's ready, he charges. You'll know when it's time to charge. Right now, Spirit's saying it's time to graze. It's time to replenish your energy. It's time to recalibrate, to readjust, but to keep your eyes on the prize. Anything else for my Tauruses here? Eve says like a prospect. Tara says rush. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, the Page of Pentacles takes his time too. Exactly, Eve. You can't rush greatness. That's what I just heard in my head. All right. Yeah, got the Knight of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords. Slow and steady wins the race. You have been growing. You have been maturing into the person who's ready for what it is that you asked for. This process takes time. Give it the time. And Saturn's going to teach you. And this is that energy of pacing yourself again, which is one of the lessons of Saturn in Aries, not just for Aries, but for all signs. Saturn's going to teach you the difference between giving up and pacing yourself. It's not about, right, the bull doesn't charge all the time. It's knowing when to do what. And it's the energy of what you're doing. You know, for instance, like right now, I'm feeling that need to pull back my energy a little bit from everything that I've been doing. Jupiter is transiting my 12th house, just started transiting my 12th house. And so I felt that need to be more internal, to be more quiet, believe it or not, to just kind of pull back my energy. And of course, I'm still going to show up in the ways that I need to show up. But I'm also going to be giving myself some more space and some more grace, and that's okay. Trust your timing, but know the difference between trust your timing and giving up. Because there's definitely that energy that I've been feeling as well with some days where it feels like that. But it's just because I'm tired. And I'm sharing this because some of you might be feeling this way too. And I'm a Taurus sun, so this is my reading as well as all the other Tauruses on here. You know, it's just I'm tired. And it's okay to be tired. When we're tired, sometimes we say, I don't care about any of it anymore. I just want to give up. You know, I just want to move to my little island and sip pina coladas or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's just like, we just need a recharge. Give yourself that recharge, but don't give up. Unless you really feel like you're being rerouted down a different path, just pay attention to that. It's going to be easier to recognize that when you are slow, deliberate, and quiet. All right. Sending you so much love, Dee. All right. And this is the end of that tough cycle. Whatever you've been going through, my Tauruses, we've been going through it in one, maybe multiple areas of our lives, right? And Spirit's saying there is an ending to this. But you have to choose it. So there's going to be a choice point for my Tauruses as well, where a cycle is presented. This is maybe a cyclical relationship. It may be a cyclical way of perceiving, of being. And we're going to get the option. Are you going to choose that cycle again, or are you going to choose something different? Clear. That's funny, Eve. I'm a Taurus sun in both Vedic and tropical astrology, funnily enough. That doesn't change no matter what. My rising changes. I'm a Cancer rising in tropical. I'm a Gemini rising in sidereal, in Vedic. Anoretic, 29-degree Gemini rising, actually. I've got some other placements that are different, too. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. My moon's in Leo, I think, in Vedic. It's Virgo in tropical. It's fun to know your different charts. It really is. And the different energies that they present and being able to see those different sides of yourself. It's like different types of views into your energy. Just like different systems like human design, gene keys, they all give you different views and insights into your energy. Yeah. Oh, I love that, Dee. Yeah, just listen to us while you fall asleep. That's beautiful. Nice. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so you're rising. That Scorpio energy is strong for you no matter what. I think that that's the most interesting thing with Vedic versus Western or tropical. My hella signature right there. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, that is something my soul came here to learn, or that is a quality or element of my energy that cannot be denied, however you want to look at it or understand it. Right, exactly. You says not going to escape that one. Indeed, Dee, indeed. All right. So we're going to move on now to, what are we on? Gemini, I believe. All of my beautiful Geminis. What do we have going on for you? So Gemini, we have your 11th house in your solar chart being activated. As Saturn and Neptune move into Aries, of course, your natal chart may be different. So in your solar journey, your conscious hero's journey, you're going to be exploring some of these 11th house themes and energies. Saturn is going to be helping you refine your leadership skills, your interpersonal skills, the way that you connect with groups and organizations, the way that you essentially communicate with people and interact with people in general. So you're going to be learning a lot about yourself in these different roles, a lot about how it is that you get along with people in these group situations, and a lot about your own friends and networks, and whether or not they are in alignment with where you are going. This was something that came through when I was doing the horoscope for Saturn and Aries for Threads, which is like my new hobby. It's actually really fun. So you guys follow me on there if you don't already. You can find me through my Instagram, which is linked in the description box. But it was this theme of like, you are who you hang with. And Gemini really needing to get clear about who they're hanging with and what that says about who they are and where their energy is headed, because who we spend our time with has a lot of influence. Like over time, energies align with each other, right? So like we calibrate to the frequency of the people, the places that we spend a lot of time in or a lot of time around more often than not. So if you want to take a look at your future, if you want to take a look at where you're headed in life, take a look at the majority of the people that you spend your time around. This is why a lot of us, as we get into these different phases of our awakening process, spend a lot of time alone. Because we may not always be connected to people, at least immediately, who are on the same wavelength. Saturn in Aries is going to ask you to make those hard choices. Some of them are going to feel almost as though they're being made for you, to weed out the people that are not on the same frequency as you. But it's also going to give you an opportunity to get really clear about who you are, what you want, your dreams and aspirations. And once you set your course, you may find, even if your social network constricts a little bit, remember Saturn constricts first, that it ultimately expands and flourishes with more people who are aligned with where you are really going. So it's that energy of like, are you going to keep a bunch of people around who are bringing you down and holding you back? Or are you going to be willing to maybe spend some time alone? And this is also where you're taking a look at the groups and organizations that you're aligned with. Do those truly align with your own values and ideals? And where you are getting that courage to speak your mind, to speak your truth, to express yourself fully around the people that you are connected to. As you get more clear on your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, Saturn's also going to start asking you to make the moves that you need to make to align with that destiny, to align with that vision if you are not aligned with it yet. All right, let's see. Interesting. I'm not being called to a tarot deck for Gemini right now. I'm being called to the elemental empath. So we're going to pull a couple cards from this for Gemini and see what this deck has to say. Clear. What was that card? Divine timing. All right. Yeah. I got curious. I had to see what this card was that was under here. So for some of you guys, and this is an 11 card. So some of you may be noticing 1111. There's 11 people in here, as I said that. So that 11 energy coming through strong here. You may be noticing a lot of synchronicities, angel numbers. Once again, it's like you're being aligned with your divine destiny and you're being aligned with divine timing. As long as you pay attention to where you're being led, you continue to follow your gut. And this, once again, the same energy that was coming through for Taurus is coming through here. The importance of not rushing anything. Like there's no race. You're not competing with anybody else. Take your time. Take the scenic route is almost like what I want to say here. Gemini energy can often be in a hurry, but Gemini energy also likes to explore. So Gemini can quite enjoy the scenic route. So employ that natural curiosity and spontaneity, and just trust that everything is unflowing exactly as it's meant to. Pay attention to those signs. Pay attention to how you're being guided. Follow that guidance and know that it won't steer you wrong. Clear. All right. Hurry up and wait, Eve says. Let's see what else wants to come through here. I feel like there have been things that have been aligning for you for quite some time, Gemini. You've been becoming a vibrational match to this energy. And some of this is destiny, meaning what you've chosen for yourself. Some of this is actually fate and what your soul chose before you came here. But you still had the free will choices that dictated the amount of time that it took for you to align with what was meant for you. And this is the energy here, right? This is what people don't understand about divine timing a lot of the time. Divine timing is not about some outer force dictating how things are going to happen and like the time frame for that. It's about the free will choices that you make and when your energy is aligned with what is meant for you. So we have a lot more control of divine timing than we think, simply through how we are aligning and elevating, I wanted to say, our energy. We have boundaries coming up. This is all about sacred space, reclaiming your space. I'm also feeling that energy of reclaiming the right to take up some space for some of you. This is also about getting really good at clearing your energy. Particularly if you, so I think that this is going to be happening with the people around you as well. You're going to really be noticing who and what is draining your energy and what is filling you up. And you're going to really feel a call and a push to extract yourself from people and situations that are draining your energy. It's like you're going to be able to feel how some people, it's almost literally like they plug into your energy and they're just slurping it with a straw. Like you're really going to begin to notice those things. You're going to begin to notice where it is that you overgive. I'm definitely feeling that energy of overgiving for some. I'm feeling something to do with, I'm feeling a lot of Empress energy here. So for some people too, especially those with the divine feminine energy here, I'm feeling like pregnancy. There's definitely the energy of creation, right? Because the Empress is always about creation. But I'm feeling pregnancy for some as well, which is a surprising message. So this is just something that's going to be perhaps coming through during this transit for you. It feels like particularly if you have struggled with that in the past, somehow there's some sort of opening that's created here that's allowing for that to take place. But this is also the birth, what it is that you are birthing and creating. We've got perspective on the bottom of the deck. So this is all about those belief systems. There's going to be a lot for you having to do with people and interactions and what they're teaching you about what you believe about yourself, about what you believe about the world. So really pay attention to that as you are moving through this transit. Pay attention to what your world is speaking to you, reflecting to you, what it's mirroring to you, what it's showing you about what you think and believe. Once you get clear on that, you can begin to shift that energy. You can begin to change that. Don't think about what it is that you want to believe. Think about what the world is showing you that you do believe and go from there, shift from there. I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that. I feel like maybe somebody's in a little bit of denial about the belief systems. It's like there needs to be an awareness first before that energy can shift, if that makes sense. There's also this energy with the balance card coming out here. And see the duality energy, Gemini, you are the twins. You are one of the most intense signs of duality. You're not the only one, but you have the strongest sense of duality. All right, so it's like bringing different sides of you into balance. I feel like for some of you, yes, this has to do with balancing your masculine and feminine in order to initiate and activate those creative energies. Like we said, a big part of this transit is stepping into your creative power. But there's also this energy here of learning how to balance the different sides of you. Learning how to give an outlet to these different sides of your being. So this has some of these shadow energies too here, right? Embracing the shadow, embracing the different sides of yourself. It's almost like for some of my Geminis, I feel like there's been a side of you that has been really muted or that hasn't been given a lot of expression, a lot of reign to be. And that side of you is getting really antsy. So there needs to be more of an expression. There needs to be more of an incorporation of all of your different sides. And that's where you're going to find the true level of fulfillment here. And I want to welcome Amber, by the way, as well as Joni. I see hopped in the chat as well. Whoop, I almost just sent my water flying there. All right. I'm going to pull one more card here for Gemini. This gets a little bit challenging because I want to go on forever for everybody, but I know that I get tired as we start moving through. It's a lot. I know there's readers who do this regularly, but to do all of these different signs and tap into all of these different energies in one sitting, it can be a lot. So I need to pace myself here. Let's get a final card for Gemini though. We've got the sword and scales, so a lot of Libra energy coming through here, and the fairy tale. So this is all about balance and truth, but it's also about happy endings. It's about being called to make amends to somebody, perhaps somebody that you're hoping for a happy ending with, or to change the way that things ended. For some of you, this is like making amends to yourself for where it is that maybe you cheated yourself out of your own happy ending. And a commitment, Saturn's about commitment, a commitment that you make to yourself. Is the sound back, you guys? Let me know. A commitment that you make to yourself to no longer accept less than you deserve, to no longer cheat yourself out of your own happiness, to do whatever it takes in order to have the courage to show up for yourself, to show up for your dreams. So that's powerful. And there's something going on right now with this energy. Spirit's saying right now, you are experiencing this. You are being offered this level of recommitment to yourself, to your dreams, to your own happiness and fulfillment, to your own fairy tale, your own happily ever after. All right. Celebrate yourself. That's what I feel like I want to say there, Gemini. Clear. Hello, Leor. Yeah, I think a lot of us have felt that at one point or another, right? Clear. Who is the ultimate authority that gets to decide what we deserve? That gets to decide what we're worth? That's another question that this transit's asking for all of us. And hopefully the answer that we come to is that we are. Right? Oh, shoot. What did I do? I put away the paper where I was writing the timestamps. All right. Now we're going to move on to Cancer. So Cancer is going to be... All right, my beautiful Cancers, here we go. We are going to be discussing where this energy is showing up for you in your solar chart and then pulling some cards as well. And in your solar chart, we have this energy in your 10th house, Cancer. So this is about career. This is about reputation. This is about social standing. This is going to be a really big year for you regarding these themes and energies. And yes, Saturn moving through this house does present challenges. I want to refer to the speech that came through. Was it in the Taurus reading? Or was it, I think it might have been in the Taurus reading. I'm not sure. So some of you might want to check that out. But it was this energy of like, are you, when life knocks you down, are you going to get back up or are you going to lay down and give up? That's the energy. There's going to be setbacks, but those setbacks are tests to see if you are committed to whatever this vision is, this dream is that you have for yourself, to see if you are ready to do what it takes, to see if you're, just like the Gemini reading just said, if you are aligned with your divine timing, if you are ready for what you're asking for, and if you prove yourself as being ready, as being willing to commit, then there can be a lot of beautiful rewards for you in the areas of career this year. So what are we going to do? Might as well do this deck because we got it out here. All right, for all my beautiful Cancers, Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, clear. Bye, Eve. Love you so much, beautiful. Let's get some additional messages here for Cancer. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you're capable of the goals that you set for yourself? What is the mark that you want to leave on the world? And are you ready to embody that? Are you willing to live that? Are you ready to walk your talk? All right, we got the Seven of Cups here. Clarity of thought, Venus in Scorpio. Yes, Venus in Scorpio. So there's that clarity coming through. Where there was confusion and chaos, there is now a level of clarity. Hold on, I got all this stuff on top of my computer here. I think it's having some issues because of it, so I got to move this for a minute. Okay, I'm going to just close that. I keep piling decks on top of my keyboard. I think it's like short-circuiting the computer or something. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, moving forward here, I need a bigger desk. So we have that clarity coming through, that confusion lifting, that fog lifting. And for some of my Cancers, this isn't just like a mental fog. This is like a literal physical fog as well. So if you've been feeling run down, we talked about how Aries rules the first house, Mars energy, stamina, the body. So there's a real need to take care of the body during this time. Any health issues for any of my signs that have been lurking in the background may be coming into focus right now. So to just be aware of that moving forward and really be aware of how you're treating your body. But I'm feeling some of my Tauruses have already been focusing on this. And you're going to begin to see that fog lifting within the body as well as the mind here. Also make sure that you are clearing your energy as well. Some of you guys, it's like there's clutter in your energy field. And that's adding to this energy of feeling foggy here. You have Jupiter moving into your sign as well. So there's a lot going on for my Cancers as we move into these summer months here. Jupiter expands you. So there's a lot of positive energy here with Jupiter. This is generally a beneficial transit, but we want to just be aware, especially when it comes to the body focus as well. Jupiter tends to overdo things, tends to overindulge. So we want to make sure that we are not overindulging in ways that are harmful to us physically. Jupiter is going to be taking whatever your focus is, though, and expanding it. So this is giving Cancer kind of like a hidden superpower, at least for the initial beginning part of this transit here. So we have the Emperor here, which is Aries energy, Mars in Aries. And then we also have Cancer Moon, the Chariot. Your card, Cancer. Whenever your card comes up in a reading, that means that your energy is coming through very strongly. Yeah, so I feel a lot of, it's like Saturn and Aries for my Cancers, for a lot of you anyway. It's going to be like the switch gets flipped on. So this is where Spirit's saying, yes, we talk about how Saturn challenges us, how Saturn pushes us to grow. If you are already somebody who challenges yourself, who pushes yourself, you don't have to, Saturn doesn't need to come in and kick you in the ass. You're already doing it. Okay, so don't worry about it. Don't anticipate that this is going to be a challenging terrible time because we create our own realities, right? That's what Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries are here to teach us, how to master reality creation. So what are you creating? Don't automatically assume that. This can be, for my Cancers, the time where everything just clicks, especially where Jupiter is supporting you as well as he moves into your sign. It's like all of a sudden you're stepping into that energy. You are feeling empowered. The fog is lifting. You get that clarity of purpose, that clarity of action. You're able to move forward. Some of you guys, there's going to be travel involved as you move through this transit. The next few years in general, I feel like there might be a lot of traveling. If you've been working towards a career that involves travel, I can see that beginning to manifest for you. You might see the first vestiges or whispers of that energy coming through this year. Anything that you're doing relating to that is going to be a success. I really strongly feel that, even if it doesn't feel that way or look that way right now. Some of my Cancers may be getting promotions, and these promotions might involve travel. Positions of leadership, definitely you stepping into this. I heard thought leader too. So some of you guys, it's like you're going to be inspiring other people. Maybe you're going to be writing or doing something else that really allows you to express and flesh out your thoughts. And people are really going to be gravitating toward that. Whatever it is that you do during this time, I feel like people are going to be gravitating toward it. It's just, you have to show up with consistency. And if that means, sorry guys, I keep having to adjust here. I'm wearing like sweatpants underneath this because I'm just, that's where we're at right now. But what I was saying was, if you need to take that break first, if you need to regroup, go ahead and do that. I'm feeling very strongly that I need to do this personally. All right. I get it. Like, go ahead and do that, because when you hit the ground, you're going to hit the ground running. So just be ready for that. Be ready for that. But if you need to take a little break, if you need to take a little vacation first, go ahead and do that. Give yourself permission to do that. Woo, Amber, I'm so excited. Yes. Yes. Hello, Matt. Hello, Curtis. Welcome. So yeah, this is a really great reading for my Cancers here. Now we do have the Three of Pentacles in reverse on the bottom of the deck. Mars and Capricorn energy here. So I feel like there's going to be periods here. Like, what Spirit's saying is, make sure that you've learned from the mistakes of the past. Remember, our perceived failures are not really failures. They're opportunities to learn and grow, but we need to learn and grow. If we're not learning and growing, we're going to continue to repeat those mistakes. And Saturn is all about learning from our mistakes. Okay, so there's some sort of lesson that you haven't learned, that you need, that's going to come up again. The situation's going to present itself again. There needs to be a different approach taken. This could also signify difficulty getting along with people, difficulties in collaborations. You may have some of that Gemini energy coming through, where we were talking about the 11th house energy. Maybe some of you in your natal chart have this transit going on in your 11th house, where you're working with people. You're really working on fine-tuning your interpersonal skills. I'm feeling like for some of my Cancers, it's going to be interesting, because you're going to have a lot of stuff taking off in your professional life, maybe, or this could be vice versa. So, or it could take place in your home life. But in the other area of your life, things are going to kind of be a hot mess. That's going to be for some. So that's going to be an interesting dichotomy there. It's like, in the public eye, everything's going great, but like your personal life is falling apart. Or maybe your personal life is great, but it feels like your career just isn't getting off the ground. All right. So I think the message coming through for that is, like, try to be as balanced as possible. If both of those things are important to you, try to find a way to nurture both of those aspects so that they don't fall off kilter or off balance. Particularly, I feel like this is going to be interesting for some of my Cancers though, because I feel like what you're stepping into is like somebody who's teaching other people. Oh, this is going to be interesting for somebody. Like, say the example that Spirit's giving me is like somebody who's teaching people about relationships and divine partnership. But while you're launching this course or you're launching this program, coaching program, or whatever it is that you're doing, your relationship is going to start falling apart. And so you're going to be like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I teaching people about this when my life is a hot mess? But it's like, whatever's happening is training you. It's helping you to understand what your clients are going to be going through. And it's also going to be giving you a little bit of a dose of humility, I think, because somebody might need a little bit of that, where it's like we almost get, and none of this is judgmental, right? But it's like we get into that place where we're like, oh yeah, you know, I got this amazing partnership. Like I know all about this area of life. I've got this mastered. And Spirit's like, really? Saturn's like, oh really? Do you now? So it's gonna be interesting, and you're gonna have clients coming to you who are going through similar things though. So what you're doing to cope with that is like what you're going to be giving for advice to your clients. So that's going to be for maybe somebody or a small group of somebody specifically. And it might not be love. It could be some other aspect that you're focused on, but it's like you're learning the final steps of what you need to do in order to teach that right now, is essentially, or to teach that as effectively as possible is what I'm feeling. Yeah. What is slowing you down is really preparing you. Exactly, Amber. Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else for Cancer here? Any final energies for Cancer? All right. We got the Six of Cups coming out with the King of Wands. And I'm not really sure how this wanted to fall out. Let me feel this for a minute. I think this is the dichotomy of connection here with the King of Wands in reverse and the Six of Cups. It's like really seeing that contrast between which connections are nourishing to you, which connections feed your spirit, and which connections, I think we talked about this at the beginning, are draining you. So coming full circle back to that energy, really being conscious of that and aware of that as you're moving forward here. I feel like Cancer, there's going to be a simplification for you. And this simplification is just around like realizing that you don't need as much as you thought you needed, that you can be happy with less. And really like simple is sweet. Moving toward the sweetness in life, embracing the sweetness in life. And like, it's almost like your attachment to the material world and your attachment to your possessions and your status and your rank decreases. And as that decreases, your status and your rank and all of these things actually naturally increase because the importance that you place upon them decreases. And your acceptance and your love for the moment and for what is, and your appreciation for what you have, that sense of gratitude makes you a magnet for more. So that is the breakthrough that some of my Cancers have been waiting for right there. And I think Jupiter in your sign is also assisting with this. And I want to thank Amber for gifting 5 memberships, 5 of the tier 1 memberships. That's beautiful. Congratulations for everybody who received one of those. Kat and Celeste, Warrior Princess, Christine. That's beautiful. And also I saw Annika had a donation at some point. Well, thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you so much. All right. Cancer, good reading for my Cancers. As a Cancer rising, I approve that message. Clear. All right. Yeah, Mars was rough. He can be that Mars. All right, let's see. So now we're moving on to beautiful Leo. Leo. Here is your forecast for Saturn in Aries. And Leo, you are going to be experiencing this transit in your solar chart in your 9th house. So this is the house of philosophy, of expansion. This is the Jupiter house, right? So this is long distance travel. This is higher education. This is all of those good energies. So Saturn in Aries here, there may be a lot that you are learning about yourself through travels, through higher studies. There may be a little bit of, like we said, Saturn constricts. Saturn kind of puts us through our paces sometimes. So you may find there's challenges in these areas initially. But if you remain dedicated, there's a lot of expansion possible here. There's a lot of learning about your empowerment, learning about your independence, what you're capable of. If any of my Leos have been desiring travel, you've been desiring to experience more cultures, to experience more viewpoints, to learn more, this is a really great time to make that commitment to yourself in that way, to expanding your horizons and to see what that yields for you. Like I said, there may be challenges here, but it's about like, do I keep showing up anyway? Do I prove? This is so funny. This analogy is coming through right now for Saturn, just Saturn in general. I don't know how many of you ever watched Sex and the City. I was a huge fan of Sex and the City. I used to own all of the seasons of it. Such a funny show. It's just perfection. It was so great. And so in Sex and the City, there is a season where Charlotte, and don't worry, even if you haven't seen it, you'll be able to follow the story. So where Charlotte meets the man that she wants to marry, and the man that she ultimately does marry, his name's Harry. And she is madly in love with him. But it turns out that his family is Jewish. And even though he's really not like a very strict Jew, like his family, it's still like the energy of it and the legacy of it is important. And it's very important to his family. So his family will not agree or consent to him marrying somebody who's not Jewish. And it's really important to him that his wife be Jewish. So Charlotte decides to convert to Judaism for him. So she starts learning about the religion and she decides that she's going to, you have to go and you have to actually learn and study the Torah and all of this. It's not like you just get to decide like, I'm Jewish now and that's it. Like there's an initiation process and you have to be approved to even begin your studies by a rabbi. And so they tell her that there's a process and that the 3 times when you show up, the rabbi to request that you begin your studies to convert to Judaism, the rabbi will slam the door in your face. And so Charlotte says, oh, I understand. So they're playing hard to get. I know how to play that game. And so she decides that she's going to show up no matter how many times that rabbi slams the door in her face. She is going to show up. She's going to bring flowers. She's going to bring gifts. She is going to make sure that she is accepted into this faith so that she can win the heart of the man that she loves. And she does. So that's the energy of Saturn. Saturn's the rabbi slamming the door in your face over and over again. How bad do you really want it? How bad do you really want it? How bad do you really want it? And ultimately, if you are like Charlotte and you show up time and time again and you do not get discouraged by that door being slammed in your face because you know it's all a game, you know it's all an act, you know it's all a test, and you know that you are going to pass that test, you will ultimately pass that test. Altera says the Episcopalian princess converts. That's the name of the episode. Yeah. That show is just so fantastic. So absolutely fantastic. All right. So now that we have gone through that, I think we're going to start pulling some cards here. But like we said, 9th house. So what is it that you are wanting to learn? How is it that you're wanting to expand? The 9th house is all about expansion. It's all about the ways that we move outside of our comfort zone. This is about also our morals, our values, our ideals. With this Jupiterian energy, our ethics. So there's a lot that goes within this sign. Wisdom, philosophy, higher meaning, seeking that higher meaning. So for some of my Leos or anybody else who has this ninth house as their Aries ruled house in their natal charts, there may be initially this feeling of loss of faith, where it seems like your faith is just being tested at every turn, where it seems like your belief systems, the way that you once saw the world, is being challenged and it's really throwing you off balance. Things that you held as absolute truths are now being called into question. Or something that you're pursuing, some partnership, something that you're wanting to learn, somewhere you're wanting to go. It seems like there's just roadblocks that keep being thrown up in your way. But Spirit's saying, don't give up. Saturn's saying, it's not that you can't have it. It's just that I want to know how bad you really want it. And if your belief systems, if your faith is being challenged right now, this is the opportunity to grow it. We don't grow our faiths when times are easy. We grow faith in times of challenge. Thank you, Dee. All right. Leo, what else does Leo need to know? So Saturn's testing not only your faith in the universe right now, but your faith in yourself. Do you believe in yourself? What do you believe yourself to be capable of? Because Saturn wants you to see that you are capable of far more than what you once, like the limit that you once set for yourself, the boundaries. Because remember, Neptune conjunct Saturn at the beginning of this transit for Saturn. And Neptune in Aries the whole time Saturn's in Aries, right? Because Neptune's going to be there way longer than Saturn is. Saturn's there till 2028. And Neptune, I think, is like 2033, I think, is when Uranus, how long Uranus is in Gemini. I don't know. Neptune's there for quite some time here. So it's that dissolving as well. So this is the dissolving of the limitations that we've placed upon ourselves. And this is going to be really true for my Leos. Hello, Christina. Hello, Rabbity. All right, so we have within a few days, and yes, interesting. So this is an interesting first message coming out for my Leos. It's like Spirit wants you to know that there's something in your life right now that is already transpiring. There's something, we've been talking a lot about like being blocked, right? Or about this energy of having to prove ourselves. But there's something right now that within the next few days, there is a positive situation that's going to unfold. Something that you've been desiring, something that you've been asking for that's going to come into being. This is something that is really going to assist you with like a boost in confidence, a boost in optimism that's going to be much needed around this time. So that's an interesting beginning message here. I also feel like this is just saying in general that things are going to, it's something interesting that I'm feeling here is kind of like some of the blessings or some of the things that you were creating or manifesting. It's kind of like you took a detour and you fell out of the vibration of those things. So they didn't come to pass. But now, especially in the very beginning of this transit, this Saturn transit, you're going to have this renewed commitment to yourself. And as you recommit to yourself, you come into this vibration again where you become aligned with those things that you had been manifesting and they come into your reality. It's like, it seems like a delayed effect. But like we said, we've been talking about divine timing quite extensively on here today, and how it really divine timing has to do with what frequency or vibration we are in and what we're aligning ourselves with. So it's like you realign yourself with these things that you were manifesting or creating a long time ago, and it's like they drop into your life out of nowhere. So I think that that is really interesting. That's kind of like a nice start to Saturn in Aries, this transit here. It's like there may be delays and setbacks at some point during this journey, but it gives you that nice boost. Absolutely on the right path, superhero. Yeah. And for somebody else, this is just something specifically that you asked for, that spirit, it's like you came onto this live stream with a question about something, and spirit's saying, yes, within the next few days, the situation is going to unfold or develop. Your wish is granted is almost like what I want to say here. All right. What else do we have for Leo? Some of my Leos, I see like international travel. And I see this as like a way to really step into your independence and your sovereignty. Because you learn a lot about yourself when you travel internationally, especially if you do it on your own. So it's really going to mature you in a positive way. This energy, the Saturn and Aries energy, is pushing us past our perceived limits. We have the hot air balloon here with the airplane. Yeah, travel. I'm telling you guys, that you are going to be in the air. I'm also getting this feeling of like things being up in the air for you right now. So if you feel like there's been a lot of things up in the air. Leo and Aquarius, these are also opposing. This is an axis of energy here. So looking at that, the 11th house, 5th house axis for you guys too. You may have a lot of energy activating. The 5th house is your house, right? Aquarius is your opposing sign. So your sun is likely, if you're a Leo sun, if you're a Leo rising, maybe not. But for my Leo suns, like your sun is in that. Well, no, actually, it's not necessarily in the 5th house. Never mind. I don't know what the F I'm talking about right now. That's okay. You guys are used to it. My brain goes in weird directions sometimes, but there's definitely this a lot of travel here. Elevation. A lot of positive energy. I love this. This is why I'm saying don't make assumptions about Saturn transits. They are not always painful. There are challenges, but there's also a lot of beautiful stuff that comes out of them. All right, I see a lot of spirit saying there are going to be opportunities for you to rise above situations, for you to rise above pettiness here. So don't get dragged into people's drama. There's also this energy of like freedom, this higher level of freedom that you're going to be accessing and experiencing as you move through this transit here. I feel like network expanding, friends, connections. This is that 11th house energy that we're talking about here. What else? This is like you breaking out of those old paradigms, those old visions of yourself. And as your perspective of yourself and the world shifts, everything shifts along with it. I also feel like you're going to be receiving some help, some assistance in areas where you've needed assistance for a while. And you're going to be developing some new tools. You're going to be learning some new tools. Whether this is tools for your business, whether this is tools for your emotions, your mental health, it's going to be different for different people, but you're going to be receiving some more tools. And also, like we said, some assistance from people in your life as well, where that is needed and necessary. I'm going to pull a couple tarot here. Clear. Let's get a couple tarot for Leo. One more shuffle here. All right. Got the 5 of Cups and the Empress here. So this is, I feel like there's going to be a rerouting here for some of my Leos where it's like Something that you had your sights set on, you might need to release and let go. But there's something new that's going to replace whatever it is that you're releasing. Whether this is, for some of you, I feel like it's like a dream that you had, some kind of goal that you had set for yourself. And maybe you're realizing it's not in alignment with you anymore. Maybe you're realizing it's more trouble than it's worth. Maybe like it's gonna be different for different people. But it's like you're releasing the attachment to that. And as you do that, it's like a new dream, a new vision crystallizes here. For some of you guys with this Empress, this is like a whole new world that you're stepping into. This is like you really aligning with that 5D consciousness. This feels very much like a complete renewal for somebody. And Spirit's saying like there needs to be a period of grieving for some of my Leos for what you're leaving behind. And an acceptance of all of the emotions that you feel. Right? Because you, like, as you're letting go of this old dream, this old goal, this old vision of yourself, perhaps, even some of these limitations, like we talked about, there's going to be a period of grieving. For some of you, it's like something that you had to let go of or you lost a long time ago that you never let yourself fully feel the loss of. And once you're really able to do that, you're able to move into this and embody this whole new energy. It's like, I feel you moving and flowing so effortlessly. Like really just tapped and tuned into yourself, to your body, to your world. And it's like existing on a whole new frequency. This is like a complete rebirthing for my Leos here. And for some of you, I feel like this is something that you thought you lost, returning to you in a different form. In a better form, honestly, in a form that's more appropriate for you now. I'm not going to elaborate on that. That's going to be for who it's going to be for. I don't think it's meant to be fleshed out any deeper than that. Then we got the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So there's a lot of this internal conflict here. This is like fear of failure, fear of success energy. I'm feeling some of my Leos working through here. This is that avoiding the uncomfortable emotions, bringing that to an end. And when you're willing to face the uncomfortable emotions, when you're willing to face those fears that have been lurking in the background, to really truly acknowledge them, there's just beautiful success and recognition. For some of you too, this is like fears of not being seen, of not being recognized. It's like, once again, we're having that repeating theme of the inner validation. Receiving that inner validation. No longer needing that from the outside. And then, of course, as soon as we don't need it, that's when we receive it, right? Okay. All right. Clear. Now we are going to move on to Virgo. Hold on. I got to write the timestamp here. Give me a second. Want to welcome everybody who's new. Thank you. Welcome, Jaff. Or Jaff, sorry. Jack. Clear. All right. Now we will move on to Virgo. And we may end up having to do a part 2 to complete the zodiac here. So I think we're going to, So I think we're going to complete it. We'll see. We might do Scorpio. We might go to Scorpio, but we're not going to make it all the way through because it's just, we're just not today. So we'll complete it in the next live stream. We'll do the rest. Like we said, Saturn's going to be in Aries for this first little interlude here until September 1st, and then returning in February all the way until 2028. So we got time to work with this energy. All right. But we're going to tap in for Libra now and see what Libra has coming for this transit of Saturn in Aries. Libra, you are experiencing this in your 7th house, in your solar chart at least. And so your sign is all about relationships. It's all about learning about the self through the other. And this transit is going to be all about that in your 7th house. The 7th house is the house that is naturally ruled by the sign of Libra. So you're really going to be examining and fleshing out those themes of interdependency that we've been talking about in other parts of this video, right? Where two people are sovereign and solid on their own, and they come together in a mutually supportive and symbiotic relationship or connection. Any of those themes of codependency, any of those themes of manipulation in relationships, all of that stuff's going to be fleshed out. It's all going to come out on the table. Anywhere where those tendencies lie within yourself, that is going to be revealed as well. Aries energy wants to be independent. It wants to be self-sufficient. Now, Aries energy is very concerned with the self and putting the self first. So there has to be a balance. Your energy, Libra, will not allow for that imbalance, that is completely self-serving. This is why you are opposing signs, because your energy balances out the energy of Aries. So this is going to be a powerful transit for you, at least through your solar consciousness, which is what we're basing this, like we said, the solar chart, because it's going to help you work on some of the core themes that you came here to learn about, which is this axis of the self and others, this axis of relationship here. So this is going to be a really powerful and defining transit for you, where if you are somebody who gives too much to others and not enough to the self, there's going to be a real commitment to yourself that's made here. And if you are somebody who tends to really place the focus on yourself, there's going to be a focus to open yourself up more to others. Because, for instance, those of you who are finding this reading who are Libra risings, the rising sign is not always the energy that we naturally are. Just like the sun sign isn't always the energy that we naturally are sometimes, but sometimes it's the energy that we came here to grow into. So it doesn't mean that we are always great at it. People hear Libra and they just assume that if you're a Libra, that means that you're a people pleaser. That means that you are, you have these great relationships, that you are over giving. You know what I mean? That you're always thinking about other people and putting other people before yourself. That's not necessarily true. Libra just means you're here to learn about that energy. You're here to learn about yourself in relationships. You're here to learn about how it is that you connect with other people and about yourself through the exploration of these themes of relationship, whether you are bouncing more to that opposing Aries side in the way that you deal with people, or whether you're on the extreme of the Libra. There tends to be a bouncing back and forth between extremes. We are learning to balance these energies. And I think somebody was right, didn't I? I did skip Virgo. So we're going to do Libra, since I already started talking about Libra, and then we're going to do Virgo, and Virgo is going to wrap up this first swath here of the signs. Hello, everyone. Hi. All right. So what is Saturn going to be teaching us here? I feel like some people too, this is like, if you are somebody who's been very shy in connection, in partnership, who's been afraid to state what you want, to state your needs, there's going to be a real need for this. And Spirit wants people to understand the way this is probably going to show up with the Saturn transit here. It's probably going to show up through you meeting, if you have a problem, let's say, with not asking for what you need, it's going to show up like people in your life who are not giving you what you need at all, who seem like they're completely overlooking you what you want, what's important to you, because the point of this transit is to get you to learn to stand up for yourself. So apply that to whatever it is, wherever you struggle in relationships, and know that that's the energy that Saturn is going to amplify in order to help you find your voice, in order to help you find your standing. All right, so let's get into this. Clear. Libra, Saturn in Aries. What have we got here? Tara. Yeah. That was one of my biggest journey in relationships. So I can relate to that energy myself. Figuring out what it was, like being honest about with myself about what I even wanted in the first place. That was step number one. Because I had this, I'm sharing this because this might resonate for people. Some people might be going through this as well. I had this vision of myself and who I was, and like the level of emotional needs that I had. And so I based my decisions and what I asked for in relationships based on what I wanted my needs to be, not on what they actually were. And I had to get really honest about that. That was step number one. Before I could even ask for what I wanted or needed, I needed to figure out what that was for myself. And stop trying to be somebody or something that I wasn't in order to be loved by somebody. All right. Libra, Saturn in Aries. What does Libra need to know? Sagittarius energy coming out, mutable energy. Jupiter. So some of you guys, this may be affecting your 9th house. Maybe some of my Libra sons have this energy going on in their 9th house. Maybe Jupiter's transit in Cancer is going to be relevant for you guys. I feel that energy of expansion. Some of you guys may have Sag placements. The key is expansion here. Some people may decide to be single during this transit, honestly. Sometimes like the energy and the themes related to that house can feel like a burden. They can feel kind of heavy. So for some of my Libras with Saturn here, you might feel like relationships are more trouble than they're worth. You might feel like you want to be free. You want to explore. You're more in that Sag type of vibe, which is why this card is coming up, right? Like, I want to learn more about myself. I want to have fun. I don't want to be tied down. So you may avoid relationships altogether during this time. Remember that this is also when we're working with this. I'm buffering. All right, hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right. Can you guys see me now? I just switched my Wi-Fi connection. All right. I think you can. So yeah, some of you might decide, particularly at the beginning of this Saturn transit, Aries was at the beginning, Leor, so you'll have to go back and watch that. It was at 22:22 was when I started with the Aries reading. You may completely just throw that out the window. If that's true for you and you're not into like romance, this energy isn't going to leave you alone though. All right? Because the 7th house isn't just about that. The 7th house is about any type of one-on-one intimate relationships. So this could be your closest friendships. This could be business partnerships. Somewhere you're going to be learning this energy of becoming assertive, standing up for yourself, naming your needs and what it is that you want, perhaps being courageous. I'm feeling for some of my Libras, you might have a crush at some point. You might decide, yeah, I'm not into all of that. I'm not going to bother with that right now. But somewhere along the line, you're going to meet somebody and you're going to really feel something for this person. But it's going to require you taking the initiative, where maybe typically you let other people make the first move. Because that's part of this Aries energy too, is making the first move. That courage and confidence here. All right, let's see what else wants to come out. Maybe this person's a Sag. Maybe that's why the Sag, the Prince of Fire, came out here. Somebody's going to be meeting their Prince of Fire. That's interesting how that fell out. All right. Oh, there's the Saturn card. Speak of the devil. And the elephant. Interestingly enough. So this feels like a major cycle completing here. As Saturn is coming through here as the World card with the elephant. As like the remover of obstacles. So it's like as soon as you learn the lesson, you complete this cycle, whatever this cycle is for you in relationship, in interpersonal relationships and connections, it closes the door on that energy and you're able to move forward. Oh, hi Ty, by the way, welcome. I love that. I love Sag moons. Sag is just one of my favorite signs overall. Let's see, what else am I feeling here? There's going to be a lot of integration in your dream time too, I'm feeling. And there's something with the past life cycles and energies. Oh, this is interesting. So I'm feeling for some of my Libras, somebody from a past life is going to come in. Doesn't necessarily need to be romantic. And they're going to come in to help you move past the cycle. By being, it's like with this elephant card here, they're going to be a supportive force in your life. So this could be like, say you're having issues in relationships. Say maybe one of you is married or something, and you're going through a tough time in your marriage, where you're learning to stand up for yourself more. You're learning to ask for what you want, to be more assertive. Fill in the blank with whatever's going on. Like you meet a really supportive friend who helps guide you through that process, or through whatever this is. Say you have a really challenging business partnership. And it's like these themes are coming up again and you need to maybe ask for what you're worth. Maybe you're dissolving a partnership, I'm feeling, for somebody. And it's like you need to stand up for yourself in those negotiations in order to get what you deserve, the time that you've put in. It's like somebody comes they're a shoulder to lean on. They're a really great support and almost like a guide through this experience. So that's really beautiful. I also feel with the tree card here, there's a lot of that health energy. So my Libras, you may be experiencing health shifts, that energy of caring for the body that we talked about, of learning how to master and moderate the energy. That may also be a big focus for you. You may notice where it is that a lot of people are demanding your time and energy, and also having to realize how to split that up between people so that you're not running yourself ragged in that sense either. And so that you have enough energy for the people that you need. Some of you guys as well, the relationship that you're going to be working on the most during this transit is your relationship with yourself and your relationship with spirit, with your higher self. So I love that energy. There's going to be a lot of, I feel like this is very 12th house as well. There's going to be a lot of energies here of really maybe committing to a spiritual routine, a spiritual practice. Whatever this is, it's like you're going to need to make a commitment, whether this is a relationship that you need to nourish, whether you need to learn how to show up in a relationship. Some of you guys, this is about learning how to show up. Whether you are needing to learn how to show up for yourself. Whatever this is, you're going to have to create habits and routines that assist with that. And really commit to that energy. Commit to creating that structure. For some of you guys, it's like structure around your health, your relationship with your own body. And then as the final cards here, we have the stork and the garden. Interesting. This to me seems like a fortuitous event, like meeting. A fortuitous meeting of two people. So I really feel like some of you guys, you're going to be meeting soulmates. You're going to, and they're going to push you, right? Like for some of you guys, it's like you're going to have to employ everything that you've learned so far. It's like the final test almost of what you've learned from all your past relationships. Some of you guys, it's like you're meeting a soulmate, like a kindred spirit friend who's going to be a powerful guide through this process for you. Some of you guys, like I said, you're meeting a romantic soulmate. Some of you guys are, there's just really beneficial people coming into your life, and a lot of just like good luck is what I'm feeling, which I love for a Saturn transit here. Fortuitous connections. Yeah. Yeah, we got the Celtic knot here too, which is all about divine union and unconditional love. So if you put in the work on yourself, some of you guys, it's like healing your own self to become the type of partner that you want to attract. If you put in the work on that, there's something really beautiful coming in by the end of this transit. Ty says, I think I'm up for a soulmate, I think. Right? Clear. It's that energy of like, you're like, yeah, but also like remembering to be careful what you wish for, right? All right. Virgo, I did not forget about you, all of my beautiful Virgos. We are going to be doing your reading. We're going to be closing with Virgo, and then we're going to be opening back up with Scorpio when we do the next live stream next week, just because it's a lot, and I'm already pretty over on time right now. So Virgo, this energy, oh, please tell me that I didn't. Okay, good. I thought I might have screwed up the houses, shuffled the houses, but I didn't. Of course I didn't, because Aries is always opposite Libra. So Virgo, your 8th house is where you're going to be experiencing this Saturn transit in your solar chart. In your personal chart, it may very likely look different. This is why it's always good to know your natal chart so that you can also watch the reading for whatever house that might fall in within your personal natal chart. But for the sakes of this reading with your solar chart, we're going to be looking at that 8th house. This is a Scorpio house. This is the house of death, rebirth, transformation, life, death, sex, taxes, all of the inevitabilities in life, all of the things beyond our control, the occult, mysticism. This is an intense house for Saturn. A lot of times Saturn can bring crises through that push us into, when we're working with Aries energy, that push us into our independence, that push us into our sovereignty, that push us to discover a strength that we didn't realize we had. So there may be some of that type of intensity. There may be a lot of unconscious things rising to the surface, like a lot of that, the shadow material that needs to be dealt with, a lot of these past life or current life themes of trauma that left that mark on you, that caused that lack of confidence, that lack of self-worth, that lack of ability to take action, if that is something that you struggle with. So this is going to be a really powerful and intense transit for my Virgos. Clear. Let's get some cards here to see what else Spirit has to say on this for Virgo here. This is traveling into the underworld. But the 8th house is also the house of power. So as you move through this transit, you're going to be stepping into, or having the opportunity to step into your power in a really powerful way. And the results of these transits are long lasting. Saturn is about longevity. So the steps that you take towards confronting whatever shadows, whatever, for some of you guys, this is like mental health issues that you're going to have to confront and deal with. Whatever it is, if you tackle it head on, if you're willing to dive into it, if you're willing to commit yourself to not giving up, to going as deep as this energy wants to take you, like you stand to gain some of the most of this transit from any sign here. So we have the Page of Pentacles here. That slow, steady energy that we had coming through, I believe it was for Taurus. Got the Star, so this is wishes being fulfilled. This is healing. And we have the Three of Swords in reverse. So definitely a healing, heartbreak. This is also, I'm feeling like, lost dreams. So where it is that you had to give up your dreams, possibly, where it is that you just, your innocence, it feels like lost innocence for someone. This energy of having to grow up too quickly, coming to terms with that. There may be some powerful inner child healing that's necessary for my Virgos during this transit. Any of these situations where it felt like you were being pulled in a million different directions. I'm feeling the energy of that coming through really strongly. I'm feeling also like childhood, like a wish that you made as a child, a wish for healing for yourself or for somebody else. I'm not even really getting what's specific about the relevancy of that wish. I'm just feeling like you're going to be thinking about that, or that's going to be coming back up again. That wish that you made. It's almost like maybe Saturn's giving you the opportunity to grant your own wish, to grant for yourself the wish that you made as a child, for some type of healing for yourself or somebody else is what it really feels like. Let's get some oracle cards to go with this. Claire, tell me something else here. It also feels like maybe reconnecting with somebody from your past, from this time period that I'm picking up on here. Healing around that. So some of you guys could have fourth house energy going on, fourth house connections here as well. Or third house. Page of Pentacles here feels like an opportunity or a message of healing. Like a dream too, I'm feeling for some of my Virgos, like a dream that you feel like you had to give up because of life circumstances, because of somebody else who needed something from you, somebody else whose need was greater than your dream or your desire. And it's like you're having an opportunity to live that dream now, to reclaim that dream. If it's still something that you want, and I feel like it is. I feel like it will be for most of my Virgos who this resonates for. With the water element. So for some of you guys, this has to do with some type of creative project, something creative. I'm feeling writers for some of my Virgos. My Virgos are natural writers. Music, I'm feeling musicians. This is also just enhancing this energy of emotional healing. A lot of deep emotion. And of course, the 8th house is the Scorpio house. This is water, fixed water. We have the mutable card, the end. The energy of the empath coming through here with this. Empathic is one of the cards here. I'm feeling, because the 8th house is one of the houses of the spirit, right? And it does represent psychic gifts and psychic vision. So I feel like some of you guys, your spiritual gifts are going to be activating here as well. And you're going to be in a process of reclaiming those gifts. And some of those gifts you abandoned because of past heartache, because of past trauma. So you're going to be healing some of that trauma, even if you're not doing it consciously, so that you can own your spiritual power, so that you can own your spiritual gifts again. Because you have this deep desire to be of service. But in order to be of service to the people that you're meant to help, they need you to step into your power first. Some of you guys may be seeking out healers during this time as well. My guidance is to seek out healers who help you to understand that you are ultimately your own healer. Feeling a lot of ancestral healing here as well. This is interesting too with this 8th house energy. I'm feeling for some of my Virgos, You could be receiving an inheritance at this time as well. And so there could be lessons having to do with either that or like being made the executor of somebody's will, or, you know, when somebody's sick and there's somebody who makes the health choices for them when they're unable to make those for themselves, like being given some type of heavy responsibility like that, and one that maybe makes you a target within your family, or makes you like there's a lot that you're going to have to learn of how to navigate those energies, and you've got to be you're going to have to be really empowered to deal with that, and to deal with that with integrity. Remember, Saturn's all about integrity and justice. We've got the tree, the crow, and the urn here. Yeah, speaking of, and the crow, come on. These two cards here, definitely crows represent the spirit world, those who have crossed over. Some people say they represent the soul. They also represent magical power and remembering. This is interesting. Something is changing form here. A lot of this death and rebirth energy coming through, not just for those of you who are dealing with the situation I just mentioned. For some of you guys, it's like the death of passing of a family member and needing to be that rock. For some of you guys, this is just the ending of some version of you and the birthing of a completely new chapter. Yeah. And this is that reclaiming of past life power that we were talking about right there as well. Every ending is a new beginning. Every death is a rebirth. So just to remember that you're going to be wrestling with some of these deep themes. Some of you guys, it's like literally your own fear of mortality, your own fear of death, and where it is that perhaps you realize that you've been so afraid of dying or so afraid of losing something or someone that you've been afraid to live. That's going to be a realization that some people have. And it's like the commitment that you make to yourself is that commitment to truly live your life to its fullest. To no longer live based out of fear, but to live based out of trust. To allow yourself to be your life to become an adventure again. Some of you guys, it's like you're literally going to start living for your ancestors. The life that they always wanted but weren't able to live. Yeah. Some of you guys, birds, crows, maybe in particular, ravens, may be of significance to you, or they're going to become very significant to you. But this is about the magical initiations. This is a very mystical transit for you. Remember, Neptune, the planet of the spirit, is here as well. Higher consciousness. So definitely a spiritual initiation and activation for my Virgos. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I love you very dearly. Clear. We will continue the readings for the Saturn transits in the next live stream. I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody today, but thank you all for hanging with me. Gonna look at the chat. All the beautiful, respectful comments in the chat anyway. Thank you, Annika, once again for holding it down for us in there. I love you all. I appreciate you so much. Hello, Sophie. Yes, Sophie, we did Leo. So, Sophie, just so you know, Leo was at 84 minutes, 84:09. And I'm going to timestamp after we're done here, the ones that we did, and hopefully they should be right around the right time. I've been trying to write them down as we've been going here. Oh, thank you, Dana. I appreciate you so much, beautiful. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Michael. Annika popped it in the chat a couple times. I will also pop it in the comments afterwards, pin it in the comments. If anyone wants to sign up for the SEDONA meetup, the day passes are available. The link that I'll paste in the comment or the comments description box. You'll be able to find it somewhere. Annika's thrown it in the chat a couple times. If you're interested in the full experience at the B&B with me, please email me so that we can set up an interview so that we can connect and touch base face to face. I want to ensure that we have connected so that we ensure the safe and sacred space for everybody who's going to be choosing that level of adventure. I love you all so much. You're incredible. And yeah, I could say that a million times. I could say that all day long. It sure is the place, man. It is. Oh my God, it's my favorite place on the whole planet that I've been so far. I'm so excited to go back. I'm so excited to be there with all of you who choose to join us. If you even just want more information about that, go ahead and click the link that Annika dropped in the chat. Hopefully it works on the phone. Sometimes the links don't for some reason. Clear. Like I said, I'll post it in the chat after this is done as well. Or I keep saying chat, in the comments after this is done as well. And happy new moon too. The moon's going to be clear on the 26th. So I think today is what, the 21st, I do believe. So I'm not sure. Are we going to have another live stream before the new moon in Gemini? I don't think we will. Will it be on the new moon? So today is what, the 21st. You guys know how I am with linear time. If today is the 21st and today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that would be what? No, we'll miss it. But I have a video that'll be coming out in a few days for the new moon in Gemini. That is a beautiful breath of fresh air. That new moon, epiphanies, divine realizations, mind opening and expanding energy. A complete mental reset was the energy that I was getting from that. So look out for that. That video will be dropping in a few days here. And magic rising, exactly.